You've arrived in the amazing fortress city of Badajoz, but now for the most important question. Where can you and your dog burn some energy, have lots of fun, and maybe even meet new friends? In this Pause on Tour deep dive, we're showing you the best walks, the one thing to consider, some options outside of the city, and most importantly, the best walk for the specific needs of your dog. We all want the perfect walk for our dog, but we also know that not all dogs are the same. A fun, busy park for one dog can be a stressful nightmare for another. So let's find a great route for your doggo in Badajoz. The impulse controlled dead inside extrovert. This walk is for dogs who enjoy meeting a lot of other dogs and are absolutely unfazed by bikers, joggers, groups of people, or loud city sounds. The Guadiana Riverwalk. You can start at any point of the river on the side of the old town where Puerta de Palmas is, and either follow the river through well-maintained parkish areas, more wild paths, a fishing and picnic area, small dams, and then turn around at some point, or you cross over at one of the many bridges and make it a round trip. On the other side of the Guadiana are even more bikers, joggers, plus playgrounds, skate parks and so on, more people and dogs, so this really is something for the more impulse-controlled dead inside extroverts. The round trip starting at Puerta de Palmas alongside the river, crossing at Puente Real on the other side and then back over at Puente de Palmas takes about 2 to 3 hours. The ears are sometimes just for decoration extrovert. Take the Parks plus Canal route if your doggo likes meeting other dogs, but also enjoys sniffing a lot by himself and is not 100% safe around bikers, joggers, and so on. Start at one of the parks in the city center situated alongside the old city wall. When you reach Parc de la Legion, you cross the big street and go down to the canal before the Puente del Revilla. There you can follow the canal until the end or choose to go back in the direction of the city center at the many side paths. You can also make it a round trip as there are many small bridges leading over the canal to the other side, which has a park vibe to it as well. You will encounter dogs, but not as many as at the river, and more dogs are leashed. People are super well educated and great dog owners usually, so if you would not like your dog to be approached by an off-leash dog, you can signal the owner and they will hold or leash their dog until you have passed. The path is also somewhat fenced in as you have the fence to the canal on one side and some sort of hill barrier on the other side. And behind that is another elevated path, not directly the street with traffic. So it is kind of safe to let your dog off leash, even if your doggo does not have the perfect recall, but perfectly beautiful ears. This route can be up to 2 hours if you want to max it out. I kinda like some humans, but that's really it, introvert. The scenic walk for doggos who really like to enjoy time outside with their humans without many distractions or stressors like other doggos or too many other people, but who are safe roaming around free off leash when there is no traffic nearby. This walk is for you. Jump into the car for this one, follow the N523 in the direction of Albuquerque, and take the first exit at the second roundabout after the Galp gas station. You can leave the car either on the abandoned street there or drive the dirt path a little further to an unofficial parking lot. This trip should not take longer than 10 minutes depending on where you're staying in Badajoz. You can now just follow the river Chivora. There will be some parts concrete path alongside some cornfields, some dirt paths along beautiful little stone bridges over the river, some parts that feel like being in the jungle until you reach the end, which is the beginning of the next village. You won't encounter many people or dogs at this route. You just have to watch out for some bikers sometimes, but they pass rather rarely. The You talking to me? Introverted extrovert. If your pupper finds groups of people and other doggos rather stressful to be around, or thinks they all suck, or everyone is out to get him, then check out the nice spacious dog park at the side of the river opposite the old town. There is a lot of space, it is very well fenced and maintained. If you go quite early, before 9 or 10, and between 15 and 18 hours, you usually have the whole thing for yourself. And even during busy hours, there are only about 2 to 3 dogs in the park, and you can check with the owners if you think you would like to join them or rather wait. Just a side note, if you have a rather long-legged horse or deer type dog like Abba, they can probably jump the fence. The fence is around 1.5 meters tall, and Abba jumped it in order to get to a doggo in heat. You know, just something to watch if you have a horsey or deer dog. Another spot for the you talking to me, introverted extrovert, could be the round across the fields opposite to the Alcadaba. You start with the fortress in your back and cross over the small bridge called Puente Camino Alcadaba, and then there's a huge field and a way along the river which is barely used by anyone. You can make smaller or bigger rounds there and usually do not encounter other dogs or people. You can extend this round by following the river up north, which is also barely used by other people. This walk can be 1 to 3 hours. There are amazing hiking trails in and around Badajoz. One we recommend suitable for all kinds of dog is the Sierra de Alor trail. It is usually super quiet. For the most parts, there are fences left and right of the trail to guard the sheep farms. The unfenced areas are straightforward. There are no cliffs or anything or deep forests to get lost in. It can be a nice and slow 2 to 3 hour tour, a sniffing party, or let's find the biggest tree branch and rip up some moss of stones mayhem excursion. It's really lovely there. When it's pouring outside, all of these routes still work. None of them become an impassable mud bath, but you can also go for a walk through the city and check out some of the sights. And remember, if you encounter a doggo who has a hard time, be kind and patient. Maybe even offer that you could spend some time just standing there with your more calm doggo so the others can train a bit. I always appreciate it immensely when people let me train with Abba around them or their doggos. The one thing to consider: people in Badajoz are super friendly, outgoing, and because of the nice weather, people meet outside a lot. This is, of course, also true for dog owners. So, in most parks and along the canal, groups of people gather in the evening with chairs, some food, something to drink, and their dogs. This is absolutely lovely and very charming, but it also means that you can encounter packs of dogs who have known each other for a long time, have internal pack hierarchy, and internal pack dynamics. It's not a good idea to let your dog approach one of these packs off leash. That does not mean that any of these dogs are evil or mean harm, but an outsider approaching a pack will have some sort of impact, and even a welcoming first sniffing can tip very quickly to alert, intruder. We made the mistakes once and had Abba off leash running to a group of people with dogs. Started all well enough, some greetings, some sniffing, some very hesitant playing, but then Abba didn't pick up a cue from the alpha of the pack, and suddenly not only the alpha, but all 7 dogs hunted him down and wanted to show him what's what. Clearly our fault and not the fault of the other dogs, so that is why we share this lesson with you. If there is more than one dog you encounter a pack with its own dynamics and rules. Be respectful of that, and to be safe, leash your dog and guide it past the pack. If necessary, get a bit more space between your doggo and the group of dogs. This is just a good thing to know and to watch out for when you're traveling with your dog, visiting new areas where they are not part of the existing structures and social dynamics yet. There are many more walks to discover in and around Badajoz. Let us know which one is your personal favorite in the comments. If you found this guide helpful, leave us a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you and your dog on the next adventure.